You're sitting on the edge of your bed, counting coins from a jar. $11.37. That's supposed to last until Friday. Your stomach already knows the math doesn't work. This isn't budgeting, it's triage. Declined. The card reader beeps that familiar rejection while the line grows behind you. You mumble something about the chip being broken, but the cashier's eyes say, she knows. Everyone knows. You leave the groceries on the counter and walk out into the cold, pride bleeding from every step. $412. Your first real paycheck feels like a golden ticket. You stand outside the check cashing place doing math in your head. Rent, phone, bus pass. The numbers don't leave much. But God, there's something left. For the first time in months, you can breathe. New shoes or phone bill? You can't have both. Your current shoes have cardboard stuffed in them because the soles are gone. But if your phone dies, you lose access to your schedule, your boss, everything. This is poverty's real curriculum, learning which fire to let burn. Your account balance reads 0, not negative. 0. You stare at it like a trophy. 3 months ago, you were 200 in the hole with overdraft fees stacking like debt Tetris. Tonight, you're going to sleep without that weight crushing your chest. $50. That's what you managed to hide from yourself in a separate account. It's not much when it wouldn't cover a flat tire or a doctor's visit, but it exists. Money with no immediate purpose. You've created a tiny buffer between you and chaos. $1,000 saved, your car breaks down on a Tuesday and you just fix it. No panic, no payday loan, no calling your mom with that voice. You hand over your debit card like it's nothing, but inside you're screaming. This is what security feels like. Your cousin needs $500. Again, last time you gave, it never came back. This time you say no. The guilt burns, but you're not setting yourself on fire to keep someone else warm anymore. Boundaries cost something. You're finally wealthy enough to afford them. You asked for more money, palms sweating, voice shaking, but you asked. They said yes, 15% more. Not because they wanted to, because you made yourself undeniable. Every extra dollar is a vote of confidence in a version of yourself you're still learning to trust. You check your retirement account and see $37 you didn't put there. Interest. Money making money while you slept. It's tiny, almost laughable. But the principle isn't. You finally understand why rich people stay rich. The game has rules nobody taught you. You're grocery shopping without checking prices. Organic eggs? Sure. Name brand? Why not? The cart fills and you feel nothing. No anxiety, no mental arithmetic. This mundane miracle would have made you weep 5 years ago. Now it's just Tuesday. Dinner's on you tonight. Not splitting the check, not waiting for the coupon, which you're just paying. Your mom protests, but her eyes are wet. She spent decades making sure you ate. Now you're returning that love in the only language money speaks. It's not about the meal. It's about the message. New apartment, good neighborhood. Your old self wouldn't recognize this place. Granite counters, in-unit laundry, a doorman who knows your name. Part of you feels like a fraud. Part of you knows you earned every square foot. You're still learning that both things can be true. Your old friends talk about overtime. Your new colleagues discuss portfolios. You're fluent in both languages, but belong fully to neither. There's a loneliness nobody warns you about. The gap between where you started and where you're going. You're a bridge. Bridges get walked on from both sides. $100,000 a year. You remember when that number seemed mythological, reserved for doctors and lawyers and people on TV. Now, it's your salary. Funny thing is, it doesn't feel like enough. The lifestyle inflation happened before you noticed. The goalpost moved again. You hire a cleaner, someone to handle the hours you used to spend scrubbing and folding. It feels indulgent, almost shameful. But then you do the math. Your time is worth more than the service costs. For the first time, you're wealthy enough to buy back your own life. You have a financial advisor now, not an app, a person, someone whose job is making your money grow. They talk about diversification, tax harvesting, estate planning. Estate planning. You're 34 years old and someone is helping you plan what happens to money when you die. 3 properties. You're a landlord now, collecting rent from people living lives you once lived. The irony keeps you up some nights. Other nights, you sleep fine, knowing you're building generational wealth. Money changes your ethics in ways nobody prepares you for. You turn left when you board now. First class. The champagne comes before takeoff and the seat becomes a bed. 8 hours later, you land in London for a meeting that could have been an email. But it won't be. Because at this level, presence is currency. And you can finally afford to show up. The invitation comes through back channels, a dinner, 12 people, the kind of room where fortunes shift over dessert. You're the poorest person at the table by a factor of 10. But you're at the table. They're measuring you, testing you, deciding if you're one of them. Smile. This is the audition. This is the patriarch leans close. We're restructuring our family office, need fresh eyes, someone who remembers hunger. His wife watches your reaction like a hawk. This isn't a job offer. It's a blood oath dressed in legal language. Your hands are steady as you accept the cognac. 40 years of climbing, and someone finally wants to pull you inside. You manage $700 million for people who've never seen a price tag. Their great-grandfather bought Manhattan real estate. Their trust funds have trust funds. And now you decide which grandchild gets the vineyard. The daughter wants to fund climate research. The son wants to liquidate everything for crypto. The matriarch just wants everyone at Christmas dinner without lawyers present. You're not managing money anymore. You're managing dynasties, egos, grudges older than you are. One wrong word and 3 generations of wealth gets torched in probate court. Flags don't fly in this room. But everyone knows who represents whom. The Norwegian fund, the Singaporean sovereign wealth, the Gulf state that bought 3% of everything blue chip. You're not playing markets anymore. You're playing geopolitics with a Bloomberg terminal. A pension fund sneezes, and a currency wobbles. You learn to move slowly, carefully, because when you control this much capital, every decision ripples outward, affecting teachers in Oslo, nurses in Abu Dhabi, retirees in Singapore who'll never know your name. Power without fame, influence without fingerprints, influence. Basel, Davos, Jackson Hole. Names that sound like ski resorts but function as operating systems for global capitalism. You don't attend anymore. You convene. Draft language that becomes regulation, suggest frameworks that become law. The game everyone else plays, you're writing the rulebook. Your daughter asks why you missed her graduation. Your wife schedules dinners through 3 assistants. You have homes on 4 continents and feel at peace in none of them. The money stopped mattering decades ago. Now it's just keeping score against ghosts, against the hungry kid who swore he'd never feel small again. Here's what nobody tells you about the summit. It's quiet, lonely even. You can buy anything except the years you spent climbing. So you endow a scholarship for kids from your old neighborhood, anonymous of course, because maybe, just maybe, one of them will make this climb. And maybe they'll remember what you forgot. The money was never the point. The freedom was. And freedom, that was always waiting at home.